Hey, my name is Eric, and in today's video, we're going to talk about setting up an LLC in Mississippi. So one of the first things I want to talk about are terms that you may or may not be familiar with. If you've never heard of the terms such as piercing the corporate veil, registered agent, or commingling funds, we're going to walk you through all of these in this video. And it's really important that you understand those things because all those terms have to do with understanding how your LLC is legit and making sure that there are no cracks in it. So one of the first things that I want to do is talk about the state website. I'm on that right now. You do have to create a login for this, but I wanted to walk you through a few things on here. If you were to click new filings, what it would take you to is this step where you can do a limited liability company and you can get set up with your LLC. Now, one of the tough things though about this is if you're using a state website, obviously it doesn't look the greatest, but as you're going down, it can be a little bit confusing and I find it a little bit difficult for trying to figure things out, such as like your NAICS codes. You got to search those. You're not really sure what those are. Registered agent, as I mentioned, and it just says that the registered agent must have a street address in Mississippi. So one of my issues with the state website is they don't do the best job of explaining all the steps and what exactly it is that you're getting into. So why don't we start with the registered agent, because I find that one to be helpful. Now, if we look at this article right here from InkFile is very similar to like LegalZoom. You can do free online business formations. If you scroll down, they really do a better job of explaining what it is. So it's official letters and correspondence from your Secretary of State. Service of process notice. So that's if you were to be sued, they make sure that you're getting the right documentation, you're showing up in court. Official federal government correspondence information and notifications, tax forms and requests for payment, and requests to complete permits, company filings, or reports. So that third party registered agent is basically making sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's for your LLC. Now, the reason that's so important is sometimes people get a little bit confused with LLCs. You know, they think there might be a tax advantage to setting them up. There's not. It is strictly for limiting your liability. So think of your LLC in terms of your business assets. You know, you have your inventory, your business bank accounts, your office. Now there's also your personal assets. So that's like your personal home, personal car, personal bank account. What an LLC does is it draws a division between those two asset classes. And what a registered agent does is make sure that there are no cracks in your LLC. So that division is referred to as the corporate veil. What that term is basically legal jargon, but what it means is if an attorney were to sue you, right, and they're looking for cracks in your LLC, what they're trying to do is pierce the corporate veil. So if they find a crack, they can erase that division between your business and personal assets. So when they sue you, they can come after your business assets, but also your personal assets as well. So that is why you want an LLC, is to reduce liability so people can't come after your personal assets. But on top of that, you want to make sure that your LLC is legit. So you may be wondering, like, what is the state filing fee? It is $50 is the minimum that you can spend in the state of Mississippi. So no matter how you get set up, you're going to send at least $50 to the state of Mississippi. So in my opinion, I just don't like the state website because it's a little bit confusing. I don't think it holds your hand quite as well. Now, if you were to use a tool like InkFile, you can see that they have been in business since 2004 and have helped launch over 500,000 businesses. The thing that's cool about this tool is that it's very similar in price if you were to do it through the state website, but with an added bonus. So if you were to click LLC, and then we're going to scroll down to Mississippi, and we look down here, you can see that the package fee is $0 and the state fee is $53. So 100% of that $53 is going to the state. They actually charge an extra $3 to InkFile to do this. But the interesting thing for you getting set up is this third bullet point down here that says free registered agent service for a year. So the way that works is if you were to go back to that registered agent document here and we scroll down a ways, what you can find down here is it explains that after the first year, it's $119 annually. So your first year it's free and then it's $119 each year to use a registered agent service through InkFile. So if you're looking at getting set up with a tool like InkFile, for $3 more, you can have a free registered agent for that first year. And it is somebody who is legit, who is going to dot the I's and cross your T's for your business. You are not locked into that registered agent if you ever wanted to switch out of it. But I find it to be helpful because it's going to be somebody who's going to help you make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with your business. Now, at this point, what I want to do is I want to get to a couple key points that are also on the screen here and explain some things that I was talking about at the beginning of this video. Now, if you look at the gold package, this is where you can start seeing a package fee kicking in of $149. And that also includes all these additional items here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was the EIN business tax number. Most times, if you're getting set up with a new business, you're going to need an EIN business tax number. You can do this yourself. This article here from the IRS, which will be in the description along with links and resources to everything mentioned in this video. This will walk you through on how to apply for an EIN or if you actually need one. I had to do this for my own small business. I found it to be a pain in the butt. Kind of wish I went through a service that would have done this for me because this was very confusing. Anything, in my opinion, to do with the IRS is confusing. But if you want to do it on your own to save some money, this is the link that you'll need, and it'll be in the description below. Now, one of the other things though I wanted to cover on here was the business banking account down here. This is really important for two reasons. The first one is a term that we talked about in the beginning of this video was commingling funds. Now let's say that you start your business, but you don't have a business bank account right away, and you start running transactions and income through your personal bank account. That is called commingling funds, and you definitely don't want to do that because that can create a crack in your LLC, which again could make it so an attorney can pierce the corporate veil if you're still following me here, and that means that they could come after your personal assets in addition to your business assets. So on day one, you want to get set up with a business bank account. Currently, InkFile does that for you through Bank of America. The other nice thing about this is when it comes to tax time or bookkeeping, all of your business receipts, so any expenses and incomes are all going to be in one clean bank account. So it makes it a lot easier to do your bookkeeping and makes tax time a lot easier if you have that set up from day one. Now the Platinum package here, that's really like an all done for you kind of system. If you want, your domain name and business email or an expedited filing, all those things just kind of are included in the package fee of $299 for the Platinum package. Last thing I want to mention here is if you get the Gold package. Now, if we go on here, you can see over here on the side, it's a tax savings benefit. So whatever you end up doing to get set up, that $50 to the state or $53 if you go through InkFile, your registered agent service, year 2, 3, whatever it may be, those are tax deductions. So you want to make sure that you are keeping those receipts because you're going to want to deduct that at tax time. Now, I didn't talk too much about going through an attorney. What I would recommend in that situation is ask yourself a few questions. One of the questions to ask is, does your business already make $50,000 of net income? Now that is net income. If that's the case, you may want to talk to an attorney and a tax strategist because there might be ways to set up your business where you could save on taxes. Now, if you're just getting started, that's always something you can do down the road and make an amendment. But most people, 85% of all new businesses are LLCs, so you're in good company there. The other thing to think about is how much inherent liability is there for your business. Now, if you were to start a tree trimming service, there's a lot of liability with that kind of service versus if you were to open a bike shop where there is less liability. And if you were opening a comic book store, probably even less. If you have a business that has really high amounts of liability, you might want to talk to an attorney. Another reason is if you're doing sales in and out of state, because then you can get into like domestic and foreign LLCs and you probably want to talk to an attorney. Now, the downside of going with an attorney is you might spend anywhere from $800 to $3,000 to get set up with your LLC. For most people, if you have more of a simple business, it's better to get set up, have that additional protection for yourself, and make sure that you're doing it correctly and not be already sinking, thousands of dollars into your business on day one. But that is up to you. That is your call. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is comparing an LLC to an S-Corp. In that video, I'm going to walk you through why when you get to the $50,000 in net income, you may want to consider an S-Corp. And I'm going to walk you through how you can potentially save on taxes with that. But again, guys, thank you for using my links in the description below, and I'm going to catch you on the next video.